Last summer, I decided to take a solo RV trip across Northern California. I had just bought a used RV and wanted to test it out somewhere quiet. I wasn't looking for crowded campsites or tourist spots. I wanted something remote, peaceful. I found a small, unofficial camping area deep in a forest, about an hour off the main road. No electricity, no cell service, just a dirt clearing surrounded by tall trees. There were a few other campsites scattered around, but when I arrived in the late afternoon, I didn't see anyone else. That should have been my first warning. I parked my RV near the edge of the clearing, facing the trees. The forest felt calm, almost too quiet. No voices, no cars, just the wind moving through the branches. I spent the evening outside, cooking a simple dinner and watching the sun go down behind the trees. As it got darker, the forest started to feel different. The silence became heavier. Every little sound stood out more. By 10 p.m., I went inside the RV, locked the door, and closed all the curtains. I double-checked everything: doors, windows, even the small bathroom vent. Something just didn't feel right. I tried to ignore it. I turned on a small light and watched a downloaded movie on my laptop. Eventually, I got tired and climbed into bed at the back of the RV. It must have been around midnight when I woke up. At first, I didn't know why. Then I heard it. A soft crunch, like someone stepping on dry leaves. I held my breath and listened. Another step, slow, careful. Right outside. My heart started pounding. I stayed completely still, trying to figure out what I was hearing. Maybe it was an animal, a deer, or something small moving through the woods. Then it stopped. The silence that followed was worse than the sound. A few seconds later, I heard something else. A faint tap, tap, against the side of the RV. I slowly turned my head toward the small window next to my bed. The curtain was fully closed. Then it happened again. Tap, tap. This time closer, right next to the window. I felt a chill run through my entire body. That wasn't an animal. I didn't move. I didn't make a sound. And then, the curtain shifted, just slightly, like something brushed against it from the outside. My chest tightened. My mind was racing, but my body felt frozen. There was someone out there, right next to my window. I slowly reached for my phone, but there was no signal. Of course there wasn't. I didn't dare turn on the light. I didn't want whoever was outside to know exactly where I was. Then I heard breathing, faint, but close, too close, coming from just beyond the thin wall of the RV. And then, a shadow appeared through the curtain. I could see the outline of a head, right at the window. Someone was standing inches away, looking inside. I couldn't see their face, but I knew they were there, watching. I stayed frozen for what felt like forever. Then, slowly, the shadow moved. The figure shifted slightly, like they were trying to get a better angle, trying to see inside. That's when I couldn't take it anymore. I grabbed the nearest thing I could find, a flashlight, and slammed it against the wall next to me. "Hey!" I shouted as loud as I could. The shadow instantly disappeared. I heard fast footsteps moving away from the RV. Not running wildly, just quick, controlled steps, like whoever it was knew exactly where they were going. I sat there, shaking, listening as the footsteps faded into the forest. I didn't sleep at all after that. About 10 minutes later, I carefully moved to the front of the RV and looked through a small gap in the curtain. At first, I didn't see anything. Then, deep in the trees, I saw movement, a figure, standing between the trees, far enough to be hidden in the darkness, but close enough that I could tell they were still there, watching, waiting. I immediately started the RV engine. The sound felt way too loud in the quiet forest. I didn't care. I turned on the headlights, and for a brief second, the beams lit up the edge of the trees. I swear I saw something move quickly out of sight, I didn't wait to confirm. I drove out of there as fast as I could, bouncing down the dirt road until I reached the main highway. I didn't stop driving until I found a gas station that was open and full of people. I parked under the brightest lights I could find and stayed there until sunrise. The next morning, I checked the outside of my RV. There were handprints on the window, smudged, clear enough to see, too big to be a child. I never went back to that campsite, and I never camp alone in remote places anymore, because I still think about that night and wonder how long that person had been standing outside my RV, watching me.